No, you don't. The men need to submit to the intimacy need of the women. Wives, submit to your husbands. No, that's not what it says. That's not all it says. You see, my wife needs to be connected. She needs that more than I do. But in order to have intimacy, I have to submit to that need. And I have to help provide that need for her so that she is feeling fulfilled. Because that's what intimacy is. It's connectedness and it's oneness. Ephesians 5:21 says, submit yourselves to each other. It doesn't say male or female. The men can submit to the needs of their spouse just as well as the women can submit to the needs of the men. And in fact, this isn't even a suggestion. It's stated as a command. Submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. In other words, just what Christ would do for me. In fact, He did. He humbled Himself to go to a cross for me because my need for salvation was greater than His need for life. So He laid down His life. To submit simply means to place the needs of somebody else ahead of your own. That's all that means. Look what it says in Ephesians 5:33. Each one of you, this is predominantly meaning toward men because remember the culture that it was written to. Each one of you should love your wife like you love yourself. The wife should respect the husband. Taking care of her is what's most important there. What does she need? What does she want to do? What is she longing for today? And maybe what she's longing for is space. And she wants to go off and read, or maybe she wants to go watch a movie, or maybe she wants to sit down and talk. Ah! That's the guy word. Ah, we don't like. Please, no. I got to go to work in 3 days. Come on. We all know what I'm talking about. The conversation, oh, it's the conversation that never ends. We've all been there. Okay, we've all been there. But it's to put her needs ahead of your own. See, you and I, what we found, Sherry and I found, is that it helps to identify the things that get in the way of that. To figure out what are the obstacles. Because we all have them. Some of them we're tired. Some of them we don't have time. Some of us, we've got all these pressures. Nowadays with the economy, maybe it's going to be dollars, maybe it's going to be children. But there are things that are in your life, even at work or at school or at home, that are hindering your ability to have intimate relationships with people. And usually, it's me. I'm not your problem, but I'm my problem. Usually what hinders the relationship with my wife the most is me. And understanding that we all have personal needs is really the first step in finding ways to meet your mate's intimacy needs. It's not just enough to say, oh yeah, well I did this and she did that. Well, there's something that's causing that. There's something that gets in the way. For you and I, what we're going to try to do is find ways for you to identify your unmet intimacy needs. For example, there are some of you that came out of relationships with your family, with your parents, for example. And you learn not to trust men, or you learn not to trust women, or you learn that you should always be skeptical. Or maybe one of your parents was married several times, and you didn't ever think that marriage is a commitment that can last. Well, that's a need, because now you have needs for security. And maybe you're looking for it in from your spouse, but you've never expressed that. Or maybe what you found is that there were words, and we talked about this Wednesday night, that there were words that were said to you that hurt you. And so now you have a wound that you're looking for your spouse to medicate and to help you deal with. But they can't help you if you don't express them. And you can't express them if you don't identify them. And what a lot of us have done is we've coated them like an oyster with a pearl. You know, we've got that little grain of sand and we've coated them so many times that now we think it looks pretty on the outside. But the fact is we still have a very deep wound. And we need our friends, we need our spouse, we need our co-workers to help meet these needs that we have in our lives. So what we hope to do in the next few months, about 2 months we're going to be in this series, is to help you figure out the things that you can do to help develop significant relationships in your life. Yeah, we want to talk positively about what you are doing right. We want to help you identify the things that you can do better. We want to give you suggestions of things that you can do to make things better at home. However, the goal in all of this process is to become healthy. That is the plan, so that you and I can be healthy. So what was it about your spouse that first got your attention? Because I'll almost guarantee you that what first attracted you later became one of the things you fight about. My wife loved the fact that I was outspoken, that I was a leader, that I could make decisions quickly, and that I usually made the right decision. She loved that about me. I loved the fact that she was carefree and fun and happy-go-lucky. Now she can't stand the fact that I'm right all the time, and I can't stand the fact she's late everywhere we go. So those are the results of the same characteristics. And so what at one time was very attractive now becomes very irritating. Okay? And it happens to all of us. What was it about your spouse or your friends? Why did you pick those certain friends? Because at some point, those same strengths will also share their weaknesses, because every personality type has it. What was it that got your attention? I thought my wife was kind of cute. Okay? But she wouldn't pay attention to me. She kept dating all these muscle-headed football boys, you know, with the big fancy cars and blah, 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 a bunch of losers, you know. And I was an absolute total nerd. All right? But she asked me out on a date. She asked me out first. And what happened? I was in a band. She noticed that I was in a band. Well, her roommate wanted to meet one of the dudes in the band. Sherry knew I kind of had a liking for her, so they asked us out on a double date. Okay? But what got her attention was music. That was what got her attention. So what was it about you? What was it about your friends and your spouse? But what was it that set your heart on fire about this person? What was it that you just went, ah, man, this is it? Because I can't tell you what that was. Actually, I can't. It was her smile. That was what got me. I was like hooked. I was like a bad drug addict after that. And I stalked her. I did. I'm not going to lie about it. Man, I chased her all over the place. I romanced her, you know, and I won her heart. All these other guys had taken advantage of her and mistreated her, treated her poorly. And long come, we were the original Beauty and the Geek. I've told you that. And I came along and I won her heart because I wrote her notes and I listened to her and I talked to her and I cared about her. That works. So what was it that lit your fire? And even more than that, what was it that drew you to them and you just had to have some of that? Okay, now I'm not saying that men are like mosquitoes, because that's not what this is implying, although some of them are. What I'm saying is, there was at some point where you said, I really want to be with this person, and I'll do whatever I have to do to make that work. And then there becomes the risk. Right? Remember, I don't know, 3rd, 4th grade, you saw that cute kid on the other side of the classroom and you wanted to go out with him. You remember that? So what did you do? You sent your best friend over to ask them if they would be your boyfriend or girlfriend. Right? And then, if that didn't work, what did you do? You wrote them a note. Dear so-and-so, I kind of like you. Will you go out with me? Box, yes, box, no. Remember that? And then they send it back. Box, maybe. But then you decide you're going to go together. When you're in the 4th grade, where are you going to go? To the playground? But you went together for a long time. Like a week. You were so close you knew this girl's last name. That's tight. But then you're going to break up. Now you got to find a clever way to break up. How is a kindergarten kid supposed to ask a girl out and break up? Hey baby, you want to go for a new ride? I got a red rag and we can go for a ride in a red rag. But then you got to break up. What did you do? Send the same best friend to the other side of the room. She don't like you anymore, dirtbag. But I'll go out with you now. That happened a few times. Or you write them the note. Remember that? And you wrote really big, like you were yelling. Right? Then the other, see the man, we always get the note, we go, oh man, she broke up with me. How'd she fold it like that? Because we could never figure that out. Like, oh, paper football. Well, all right. But what was it? You had to be with this person. What was it? There's something about him. I was in kindergarten with my first girlfriend. Her name was Stacy Griffin. Oh, my goodness. We were boyfriend and girlfriend. We went to a movie. We went to a Disney movie. World's Greatest Athlete. That's a good movie, isn't it? Black and white. And I just thought she was the cutest kid. I don't think I ever talked to her after the movie. Ever again. I think we like unofficially broke up. But I can remember how that felt. I was 7, 8 years old. And I thought I was in love. And then I met girls when I was in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade and thought I was in love.